You know who may have it figured out and just hadn't opened his mouth yet to tell us all because he's a smart guy? That's John Morris, voice of the Baylor Bears. Morning, John.
I may be the last to know. Hopefully, everybody smarter minds than me figure it out, and then hopefully they let me know. But I don't have it figured out. I don't think anybody has it figured out right now, right? It's just
No, no, I no.
working through it.
That's pretty clear because
Yeah.
we've had several people up in our neighborhood that kind of thought they had it figured out, and they've been told they don't.
No names.
Okay. No, no, I didn't throw any names out there on that.
No. Yeah.
All I know is that in our mythical March Madness on Pokes Report, part of the Sports
Yeah.
Illustrated Maven network, and
Give
then
me some good news.
In Moody
Yeah.
Coliseum, in the regional final, Baylor against Texas Tech in a Big 12 battle, that when the shot went down that won it, and I'm trying to think which Baylor player hit it. It was
Maceo
your
Teague, right?
no, it wasn't Teague.
Okay.
It was your rebounding defensive specialist that had a great offensive finale in that
Mark Vital.
regional. Mark Vital hits the winning
Okay.
shot, and in
Oh,
an empty
okay.
arena, you could hear the voice of John Morris saying, "Vital hits the shot. Baylor's going to the Final Four." Yeah, I wrote that. So
Yeah. Oh, that was good. You sent it to me. I appreciate it. That was
yeah,
some good
yeah, I
news.
sent that to you. You know what? I
Right.
don't think I sent. I don't think I sent you the result of the Final Four.
No, I figured it wasn't good news if you didn't send me anything
You know what?
beyond the Elite Eight game. So,
You can still go to the website and look up the story.
okay.
Baylor knocked off Kansas in the semi.
I like that.
So that's
Okay.
back to back wins against Big 12 opponents.
Oh,
Gonzaga
yeah.
beat Gonzaga beat Davidson. These were all played at the Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City in front of an empty arena.
Wow.
And
Throwback.
Gonzaga picked a bad night to have a cold night shooting on that Monday night.
Right?
Baylor won the national mythical March Madness national championship, knocking off.
Nice. Very good.
Yes.
Yeah, very
And you
good.
know
Hey,
what?
that's good
People
news.
say, yeah, and if people want to say, Robert, you just like John Morris so much, you tricked this thing to win for Baylor. It was all the roll of the dice based on
Wow.
the historical odds on every game ever played in the NCAA tournament. I didn't realize somebody kept track of the odds, but you can
Wow.
find the odds on the number one overall seed against the number two top seed. I mean, they have it all tracked up, and so I used
Wow.
dice to play it out. Baylor won, but Baylor won
How
big
about that?
in the final.
That's great.
So
That's great. I think we'll hang a banner in the Farrell Center. We'll put your name on it. How about that?
what can I come down there for the ceremony?
For the unveiling, yes.
tell
You
tell
can
Mac
pull the rope
Rhodes,
that
hey
unveils
hey Mac, we
it.
need to get a banner done because Pokes Report up in Oklahoma had us winning a mythical national. I'm sure Mac will just jump up and down.
You know what the answer would be to that? I'm sorry, we don't have the money to do a banner. We're cutting back, and that's one area where we can cut back. So, and there's more than a shred of truth to that.
Yeah, we had John Walters on the other day, and Jamie
Yeah.
Pollard was the first. They cut salaries there
Oh,
almost
yeah.
immediately, 10%, and coaches gave up their bonuses. I mean, you may not be able to be privy to tell us what. I guess Baylor's already in that mode.
Yes, I'll tell you what happened this week. President Livingstone, proud Oklahoma State grad,
Yes, she
had
is.
an announcement and gave the word to everybody here that their estimate is that we need to find and cut 65 to 80 million dollars from the budget. Now that's not just athletics; it includes athletics, but that's the entire university. So that's what they're looking to find and cut is 65 to 80 million dollars. And she didn't go so far as to say here's exactly how we're going to do it, but she did say here are some things we're looking at. Cutting back on travel, entertainment, meals, bonuses. They've already said, we won't have employees at Baylor won't have a cost of living increase going into next year. And then the next step would be reducing salaries, across campus. And they haven't done that yet, but that's a real possibility. So that's kind of where we stand. I mean, that's a big chunk of money right there. But I think they're on top of it. I think they want to be in a good position when we come out on the other side to know where we are and be in as good a position as possible financially.
Wow, and Baylor had some didn't you guys had some projects going on?
Yeah, that's right. And they're on hold. Both of those are on hold. Two big ones are a new basketball pavilion. So that is just on hold right now. And then a new welcome center right there on the corner of University Parks Drive and I-35, great location. And they have the majority of the money donated for that already, but it wouldn't be a good look, to be building and doing something new like that in this environment. So both of those projects are just on hold right now.
Yeah, and for folks that don't know it, John is a little different from, say, Dave Hunziker. Does not work for the university. He works for Learfield.
Right.
John, you're actually an employee of Baylor University. You work in the athletic department, so that's a little bit different.
Well, I work at home is where I work from. Yeah,
well,
I am an employee of the athletic department, but I work at home is where
how
I am.
how often do you Zoom these days?
I've learned I'm getting to be pretty efficient in Zoom. It's at least one a day, and sometimes more than one a day. So I'm getting pretty good at that. How
Yeah,
about
and
you?
by the way, I just joined up with Zoom. What the heck? I mean,
Right,
I've got an
right.
account now because I thought, hey, this is the way it's going to be, and we actually do some family things on Zoom.
Oh yeah, we
Um,
do too. Yeah,
yeah, and by the way, this show is through the studios there at Triple Play Sports, but as it has been for about the last month, we're not on remote. We appreciate our advertisers, but I'm going from the office in Edmond, Oklahoma. So I'm just like
gotcha.
John Morris. I'm at home. What kind of feel? I mean, 'cause this is what everybody wants to know, especially after yesterday. What kind of feel are you getting? I mean, as far as I'm not asking you to look into a crystal ball and make any concrete predictions, but what kind of feel do you have for what we're going to see come August and September?
Yeah, well, I would say this, and I've talked to Mac Rhodes is our athletic director. I've talked to him about it, and I think he's pretty transparent in passing along what he knows. But again, kind of like we started this conversation, nobody knows right now. There's a
Right.
bunch of plans that are being thrown out there, and Mac told us about those. One is maybe starting in October and playing a 12-game schedule. One is maybe starting even later than that and playing just conference games this year. I'm sure you've heard the plan, maybe playing in the spring or starting in
I don't
January
see
with
that
football.
happening. I
You
don't
don't
see
think
that
that happens?
happening. I don't think it happens because um, you start running into the NFL Combine, and here's what I do
Right.
think. I think the NFL is going to play. I
Okay.
think they
Yeah.
are the one league. I think they're the one league that if they can get the okay from the government, which I don't necessarily think will be hard to do unless we just aren't making any progress at all. But I
Yeah.
think the NFL will sequester their teams, and I think they'll play in empty stadiums because their TV money is so massive. And here's the other thing: I think you'll get a lot more cooperation from players in the NFL toward playing because Major League Baseball had some hiccups yesterday with some players saying,
Right. Right.
no, not
Right.
without a vaccine and all this. Well, Major League Baseball salaries are guaranteed, their contracts are guaranteed. The NFL doesn't have guaranteed contracts. I mean, the bonus money in a lot of those contracts is good, but after that, it's, they don't get paid.
Right.
And I think you're going to get a lot of willingness out of NFL players to say, yeah, let's find a way to do this. We'd kind of like to get those
Yeah.
paychecks. So,
That's exactly. Yeah,
uh,
that pushes things, doesn't it?
yeah, and here's another thing. And John, if I'm going down a road you don't want to traipse down, just say, hey, Robert, stop sign.
Sure.
But
Sure.
a lot of people are saying, and the money is a factor. Anybody who doesn't think the money made in college football is not a major factor, has got their head in the sand. Because without college football, you don't necessarily have softball or equestrian or tennis or golf and all these other sports because football does most of that funding, right?
No, yes, no. I think that's.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything wrong with saying it out loud. I mean, football is the engine, the economic engine for the
Absolutely.
athletic department. Football
Uh,
drives everything else. And I
so,
think we saw, I think we saw in March how important NCAA basketball tournament money is to the NCAA, because when the basketball tournament was canceled, right after that, all of a sudden they canceled all other spring sports championships, and that was because obviously for safety reasons and health reasons, but because they didn't have that NCAA basketball tournament money to run the other championships.
yeah, and that's true. That's a big thing with the NCAA. I think on the individual college campuses, I think they could have continued to play. They just wouldn't have had national championships to contend for. But I know some of the spring sports coaches here were like, if we can, we like to continue to play. But we all know what the safety factor was here now. I mean, this
Right,
is the
right,
right now the virus is its most volatile. It's extremely contagious. But here's what I was getting around to. A lot of folks say, "Well, yeah, you keep talking about the money, so there's not a concern for the student athletes, and you're just making money off their backs." Okay, I'm really tired of that.
yeah,
You're actually in athletics administration. If you go poll those football players and say, "Hey, do you think you're being taken advantage of?" I think you'd find a few that would say yes, but I think the majority would say, "Well, I'm getting a good education. I'm getting all
right,
this good stuff. Baylor's a Nike school. I know your guys get a lot of the same stuff the kids up here at Oklahoma State get. You've got
right,
great coaches, in the way of just the coaches, but the strength coaches and the nutritionists and all this. You have nice living conditions. I think most football players, if you asked them, would say, "Yeah, I think I'm treated pretty good, and yeah, I want to play because that's what these kids do. They want to play, just like you like
that's
to
it.
announce. They like to
Yeah,
play."
that's it. No, I think you pegged it. That's exactly right. That they just want to play. I think it's almost up to the coaches and to the people, the athletic director and everybody else to make sure it's safe. Otherwise, some of these guys might go out there and do things that really wouldn't be advisable. You know what I mean? They want to play that
Yes.
much. So everybody here is just going to make sure it's safe, completely safe for everybody before they open the doors again.
Hey, give us an idea of what the mood is in Waco, and I'm not just talking about around Baylor and Baylor athletics. Uh, I'm curious because I grew up there for a while and
Right.
I was born there. What is Waco like under COVID-19 right now?
Well, it's kind of eerie, just like probably the same as in Stillwater. So many things are shut down, and everybody's working remotely, and you can't go out to restaurants. To eat at restaurants, you can go out and get stuff to go. And there's a big push here, to support local restaurants and help keep them afloat and keep them in business. But there's just not a buzz around town. Everything's just sort of, like we are sheltered in. The Magnolia Empire is shut down for now, so there's not this great group of folks from all over the country coming in to see the Magnolia silos and all that. So tourism is down to nothing probably, for the most part. So it's just, it's kind of eerie. It's just a very slow pace right now, and everybody's just doing what we're supposed to be doing and biding our time, and hopefully, we'll come out on the other end of it okay, and hopefully that's pretty soon.
I filled up my truck almost identically a month ago, and
Wow. Yeah.
it's still got three quarters of a tank
Wow.
from a and you know what? Let me ask you this: do you and your wife? I mean, when you go out to the store or whatever you have to do, Have you worn mask?
Yes. We just started really. I didn't have any, and a guy gave us a couple, and just so probably within the last week to 10 days, we got those, and we've started wearing them. And now it's kind of interesting. So HEB is the big food store here.
Oh yeah, I
When we
went to
go to
HEB when
HEB,
I was a kid.
yeah, HEB.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to see the majority of the people are now wearing masks, and it's a minority that aren't wearing masks. And that's
Yeah.
that's been a trend, a growing trend of more people wearing masks. So yeah, we're among those, and glad to do it. I'm not over the top with anything, but I just think it's the smart thing to do right now.
Yeah, I feel like Lynn. Well, of course, we have masks and gloves here at the house because my wife is the office manager for a dentist, and they use those in their
Perfect. Yeah.
daily, which they're not doing right now. The dentistry only emergency patients only. Um, but yeah, we started wearing masks. I wore one the first time last week,
Did
and
you? Yeah.
literally, yeah, and literally feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie. I mean, you do. You
Yeah.
know, it's crazy. Hey, one
Yeah.
last question for John Morris, voice of the Baylor Bears, and that is as far as Baylor. I guess you guys meet on Zoom, and so you're in contact on a daily basis with other people within your athletic department.
Yeah. I mean, almost daily. There might be
Yeah.
one day a week when we skate by and don't have any really Zoom conference, but it pretty much is every day.
And the spirits within the athletic department. And again, you mentioned Dr. Livingstone, who's an OSU grad, that's the president at Baylor, and what are the spirits of the people like? Are they
I think
staying pretty?
yeah, I think I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think pretty good. I think everybody, knows that hey, we need to do our part. We need to be patient, and we need to stay at home. I don't think there's an issue with people, bucking that order of sheltering in. So I think everybody's been pretty smart here. But the mood is just, man, it's just getting old. We would love to see some progress, and I think we are seeing progress, here in Waco and here in the state of Texas. But as soon as my fear is, Robert, that people will think, hey, we're seeing progress, things are looking up, and then they're going to slack off on the washing hands and wearing masks and staying in, and then it might spark a second wave of this stuff. So, we just got to be diligent and stick with what we're doing that seems to be working, but we got to stay with it.
I got news for you. I think we've changed. I think the handshake is something that will have gone away
Yeah,
completely. I
yeah,
think people are
you
going to
might
be
be right.
guarded. Yeah, I think society will be guarded for a long time, and I feel sorry for the huggers out there. I've never been a real huggy person, so it's not going to bother me that much. But I know a lot of people that's their way of greeting. They hug, and they ain't going to be any hugs now.
Yeah,
I mean, only
right.
with the ones you're close to. So,
You're right.
uh,
I think you're
well,
exactly
hey,
right.
best to you and your family. Of course, I've met your wife on numerous occasions, and I also know your son that was a terrific high school football player, a terrific student, and so I wish the best for your family, and hopefully we'll catch up. We're supposed to go down to Waco this fall. I'd like to be
Uh,
there, so we'll see what
I
happens.
hope you can make it. It's great to visit with you. I appreciate it. Thanks, and be safe. And great to hear your voice. Great to visit with you. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks, John. John Morris, voice of the Baylor Bears.